Man, I don't know who came up with the line, closed mouths don't get fed, but it is incredibly applicable, especially in today's world where everything and everyone has become so passive. Everybody's so damn scared. Everybody's walking on eggshells. Everyone's so afraid to take any risks. I mean, it's pathetic, but at the end of the day, it's sad. And the reality is that these old kind of sayings have come full circle and they're super, super true. And I'm going to talk today about some things that people are doing wrong, and more importantly, some things that they can do to radically shift a lot of stuff in their life. This is going to be more of like a universally applicable video versus just being about like men or women or, communication or sales or whatever it is. So what I mean by closed mouths don't get fed is, think of this. Were you ever the person who was in school who was afraid to raise their hand because the social pressure, you being embarrassed around your fellow friends or students because you would be teased? Are you the person that goes to the store and kind of refuses to speak up, or you hesitate to ask for help, or you kind of sit there and look around until somebody says something to you and they get your attention, or you get their attention and then they come to you, right? This passive type of living. And the reason I bring that up is all of that within you has to radically shift, and it has to start immediately. And many of you don't realize the consequences and repercussions of living your life like that. Living a passive life is a life of suffering. Living a passive life is a life of mediocrity or worse. Living a passive life is like you see right now for the realtors who follow me, right? If you happen to be a realtor watching this video, 75% of the 1.6 million licensed agents in the United States, 75% have sold 0 houses this year. That's 3 out of 4, meaning if I put 100 agents in a room, 75 of those agents haven't sold a house yet. That is crazy. And the vast majority of them have a closed mouth. And that's why they're not getting fed. They're passive. They sit back and wait. They will pay money that they don't have to figure out a way to passively generate business. Stop thinking that everything is passive. And I know the world is programming that. You can Uber for a car to your house. You can Uber food to your house. You can Uber sex to your house because we just date on fucking apps now, which, by the way, if you're on those, get the fuck off of them. It is insane how convenience-driven the world has become and how passive we've become. It's normal for people now to sit at home 24/7, 365 and not do anything. I have people coming to me, oh man, how come I'm not making money in business or entrepreneurship and this and that? And then I find out what they're doing. I'm like, bro, you're not doing anything. You're not talking to anybody. You're not generating any leads. What are you doing? Posting trends on social media or sharing, motivational quotes and memes. That's not going to do anything for you. And you think just because you tried one time, it's going to work? Oh, I tried, I started my podcast or this and that. That's all cool to take those steps. But are you doing that day in and day out for 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years? Because remember, for all of you who have been around, even though this channel has been censored and shunned for a long time, I didn't grow at all on YouTube for the first 2 or 3 years. It took me 2 years to get 1,000 subscribers. Remember, I started in 2013. And remember, by 2017, 18, I already had 100,000 subscribers. So if those first 2 years took me to get 1,000, that means the next 2 or 3 years, I got to 100. Are you willing to put in that type of work? Because there's no cheat code now to get around that. So when we say closed mouths don't get fed, let's go back to the beginning. What are you doing actively every day to improve your mind, your communication, your ability to sell, your business or businesses, cultivating those ideas, watering those plants and watching them grow? But putting in the work every single day. What are you actively doing? Because I want to hear in the comment section. Because many of you have been telling me for years now, 1 year, 2, I don't have the money and this and that. Then make the fucking money, man. Get a second job. Before I got into real estate, I busted my ass coming back from being overseas, working on the weekends and during the day, saving up so that when I could go full time, I would have money and I could go full time, balls to the wall. And I never made the excuses. I paid $1,000 a month for a coach when I started. They didn't deliver 1/10 of the value that I'm delivering to people now. But so many, I can't afford this or I can't do that. I'm not going to pay and this and that. Make the fucking money. Figure it out. Because anything you do in this world is going to require money. You want to live a better life. You want to get out of the rat race. You're going to have to invest money into yourself outside of colleges. Some of y'all will refuse to spend money, $500 or $1,000 to improve yourself, but you ran away to college, got a useless degree, put you $50, $100, $200,000 in debt, and now you're sitting here like, oh shit. But then you refuse to invest money in something real, but you invested money in a bullshit ass degree. Now, if you specifically went to school to be a lawyer, engineer, study the sciences or something like that, cool. But that's a small sliver of people, let's be real. Most of you went to college to bullshit, delay, reality, party. Come on, let's call it like it is, right? Because many of you didn't want to go to college, but you went because you felt the social pressure. You gave in to the world's demands. Which is another reason why closed mouths don't get fed. You delayed the timeline and went farther away from what you truly desired because you didn't have the balls to go after what you want. And that's the suffering of the closed mouth. The closed mouth doesn't eat. They don't go after what they want. They don't get the results that other people want and that they want and the life that they want. They get average, below average, mediocre, because that's what everybody does. Everybody, look at online. People like me get censored and shunned because most of you watching this video won't step the fuck up and say something. You allow people like me to get shunned because you're not voicing your opinion too. How do I know this? Most of you agree with what I say. You may not agree with everything, but overall, 70, 80, 90% of what I say, y'all agree, but you won't say it. You won't share it. And that's the reason that the cancel culture and all that bullshit exists, because so many of you conform to that bullshit. That's one example of closed mouths don't get fed. Well, BC, you got censored. Yeah, but even after censorship, my businesses are still doing better than 99% of people. Because the skill and the value that I bring cannot be censored or shunned 100%. Because if I did not have any value, if I was just an influencer, then of course I'd be down in the dumps like everybody else. But my businesses are still making money. I'm still growing my team. I'm still selling real estate. I still have an online brand. I'm still getting people on my coaching program every day, every week. All my businesses are still doing well. Now, could they be doing better if I was getting hundreds of thousands of views like I used to and all that? Of course. But we're still doing well. Because we offer something of value. How many of you refuse to even emulate the free shit that I've given here for so many years now? 10, 11 years now, almost going on 12. I've given you a lot of the basic information. Why haven't you implemented it? Because you're a closed mouth. You don't want to work hard, and that's okay. You don't want to put in the work, that's fine. But that's another example of a closed mouth doesn't get fed. While I was out there banging on doors, you were watching Netflix. While I was busting my ass making cold calls, you were bullshitting or not putting in as much effort. When I was working on the weekends, you were relaxing or going to the club or doing something cool because I'm the loser, right? Bunch of fucking nonsense, man. I laugh when I hear that bullshit. That's average talking. Closed mouths are average. Now, there's nothing wrong with the average person. I'm not knocking the average person who goes out and works their 9 to 5. Why? Because they're proud in doing that. They do a good job and that's the life they want to live. More power to them. More power to them. I respect them more than the people who claim they don't want to do that and be an entrepreneur and then just lie and bullshit and look for these shortcuts and not actually put in the work. So I respect the 9 to 5er actually. The blue collar worker, much respect to them. My family is that. I don't disrespect that. They're in their lane. That's what they want to do. That's the life that they chose. Fucking fantastic. I salute that. I'm talking about the people who sit there and bullshit and share stuff online and talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. That's who I'm dissing here. Because the other person has chosen what they want to do and they work it and they shut the fuck up and they do it every day. But everyone else, oh man, I want more and this and that. A lot of people they would want to be in my position, but they're not willing to put in the work. They're not willing to walk my shoes. Or they'll look at what I did and say, well, I'll do this, but I won't do that. Okay, these first 10 things, 5 of them I'll do, the other 5 I don't want to do. I'm going to find a way to skip and go around them. You can't. You can't. But what are you going to do now? Many of you lack purpose and direction. Many of you lack discipline. Most of you, damn for sure, 99 out of 100 of you, or more, 99.5, right? You lack real support, real accountability. You don't have good people around you, right? And when I say good people, I don't just mean people who are nice and support you. That's great. But how about people who are on the same wavelength as you? Literally side by side, want the same things that you want, are willing to put in the work, are willing to grind, have the same type of aspirations. Because I could have good people around me, but if they're not driving me on that side and pushing like I am, then that's cool for friends. But how about for real connections and deep relationships, right? We want to be with people who are on that same track, that same path. And many of you lack that. Just because you follow me doesn't mean you're in that circle. That's not enough. You're just getting a little taste here on YouTube for 10 or 20 minutes. Then you're back to your reality. You need to change your reality. You need to shift your reality. You need to evolve, shed the old, bring in the new. But that's going to require some investment from you. Time, money, energy, resources, attention, focus, determination, perseverance, all that shit. And not, well, if I do something, how long is it going to take? That's not the question to ask. This is a lifetime commitment, just so you know. You want to be more eloquent as a speaker. You want to be more bold. You want to have that aura. You want to be confident. This is a lifetime commitment, just so you know. I wake up every day. Look at all the books I got here, right? Look at all these damn books. I got books behind me right here, right? I got another bookcase over there. I just bought that other little white one that you see here. I don't know if you can see it. It's behind the TV, that white one. I'm about to fill that up, right? I'm a student of the game, and I keep all the time, boom, 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 boom. Coaching, events, reading, I'm always learning, right? And I'm sharing with my students, and I'm implementing this stuff into my life constantly. I have more of a hunger now, I notice, than a lot of the new people coming in. It's crazy. I'm like, dude, how are you new and you have less fire than me when I've been in the game 11 years? You're supposed to be feeding me that young, hungry energy. It shouldn't be vice versa. And I see this everywhere I go. And I'm not special. I just show up different than everybody else because I've molded myself to be this way. I'll go to the gym with you. I'll bust my ass more in there than you. We'll hit the books. I'll hit the books harder than you. We'll go door to door. I'll do that shit harder than you. Why? Because I just want to show up. I have that competitive nature and I want to win. Do you want to win? Because the one who wants to win the most is the one who's going to win. This is an attitude. This is a beingness. This is your spirit has to change and become that. And if this is too intense for you or whatever, then get off the train and leave. Because this isn't intense at all. I'm actually toning it down. I tone this shit down for people. Because if I really went all out, then all the accusations of, oh, he's on drugs and all this shit would really come out. Because people can't fucking handle what it's really like to go after something with everything that you got and all of your heart and soul. And dedicate that every single fucking day. And then be around people who will hold you to that. Because if you want to be around me or you want to be in my community, I'm going to hold your fucking feet to the fire. And if you can't handle it, I'm going to kick your ass out. Why? Because I demand greatness. Not in talent, but in what you do, your dedication. I will demand 100% of you, not 95, not 99, 100%. And that's the type of people and attitude and energy that you need around you if you want to succeed at that level, because that is required. You cannot give less. Why would you want to give less? Why would you want to be around people who just want to sit around and fucking vegetate and relax all day? What the fuck does that even mean? Our society is twisted when it comes to this stuff. You're not supposed to sit. Imagine if your ancestors fucking sat around all day and didn't achieve shit. You wouldn't be here. They'd be dead. And your genes would be weeded out of existence. We're not here to chill and do all. Like, it's stupid. Drones, they just don't do anything mindlessly. And then on the weekend, oh, let's go party and do whatever. That's dumb. That's that stupid endless loop that people get caught in that leads to nothing. No self-discovery, no education, no real fulfillment, no purpose. Just a mindless job that people want to do. Is that you? Because many of you who are watching me are probably in that and you don't even realize it because you've been in it for so fucking long. And you never stopped and smelled the roses and looked up and said, oh shit, I'm scrolling through my fucking phone all day. Like, as an example, I'm a creator. I don't log, like you get the log on iPhone. I'm not on my phone more than an hour and a half or 2 hours a day, and I'm a content creator. And some of you are 7, 8, 10, 12, 14 hours on your fucking phone and you don't make a penny from it. That's robbing you of your time and your soul and your spirit. What the fuck are you doing on your phone for 12, 13, 14 hours a day? What the hell are you doing besides mindlessly consuming fucking content? Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's the truth. If you're on your phone 6, 7, 8 hours a day, but you're making money and you're using it as a tool for your business, and most of that time, 80, 90% of it is focused on your business and making calls and that kind of stuff, fucking more power to you, man. You're taking that tool now and utilizing it to its maximum. But if you're on your phone 6, 7, 8, 9 hours a day, and 8 or 9 hours is YouTube and TikTok and all that, you're wasting your damn fucking time. Stop talking about what you're doing. You're not doing anything except for being a consumer. You're a number. That's it. But everywhere you look, that's the example. So for many of you, you're surrounded by that. So, well, that's what everybody's doing. Yeah, but do you want everybody's results? Take a look at the people closest to you and around you. I looked at even my family and I love them, but I said, I don't want to live like them. I don't want to live like this. Stressed out, working, fucking 15, 16-hour days forever. No business, right? No investments. I don't want to live this way. And that's why I did what I did. I busted my ass and built up a fucking empire, and I keep fucking building it. Now I don't have to do those things. I work now by choice. I do all this shit by choice. I don't have to do this anymore. When I look at all the streams of income that I've created as an example, one of them alone can support me, pay for all my bills and all that. And I've continued cutting my expenses the last couple of years. So now while everyone's tightening up and they're scared, I'm good. I'm making more money. My expenses are low. I'm good. So even if a catastrophe happens again, like back in 2020, I'm fine. I'm not going to be out on the street. And we're in an era now where I go, out and, the 9-to-5er, I feel for them. Economy sucks, gas prices, living expenses, food costs, all through the roof. You're either going to, again, complain about it or do something about it. So I feel for the 9-to-5er who chose that decent, honest living because they're doing everything they should be doing and they're getting fucked for it. And I've seen that with my family. I've seen that with friends. I've seen that a lot. I said, I want to leverage myself. I'm willing to step out of that, take a risk, create what I wanted to create. And I went after it, even though I had all the odds against me. No previous experience, no connections, no money, no nothing. Built it up from the ground up. Using cold calls, going door to door and educating myself like anybody else can do and paying that fucking price day in and day out for years. Because if you're a follower of my channel, you've been around 1, 2, 3 years and your situation hasn't improved, I almost want to say, I don't want you watching my content anymore because you're not doing anything with it. I don't want this to be mindless pleasure for you. I want this to be a corner of YouTube for people where they take what I'm telling them and they implement it, because very few of my videos, we can say, if any, don't really have substance. Like I almost always give people homework or say, hey, do this, or come back and comment on the video, because I want to give people real actionable shit, not just come on here and talk and rant, which I could easily do. I can talk for hours, not a problem. So it's not like somebody could come and say, well, you don't teach anything. Really? You know what I hear from people? I hear, you know what? I decided to go with somebody else for my coaching, but your free shit's better than their paid stuff. I hear that every fucking day. And I tell them, get the fuck off of them, or stay with them if you want, but join my coaching too so you can get some real shit. And many of you binge watch my videos and you coach with everybody else. That's fine. But there's a reason that you're coming back here. And if you're willing to pay other people money, why wouldn't you pay me or the next guy that you consume a lot? It's kind of crazy when you think about it, right? Because the answer's staring you right in the face. This isn't everybody, but it's some of you for sure because you've told me this and I see this. Or you'll say, well, so-and-so, I'm with so-and-so and he said this and it's the opposite. That's another reason I tell people, when you study too many fucking people and you're just watching all these videos, all the information is going to conflict and it puts you in another position where you're screwed. That goes back to the formula. You take more action. You don't sit there and fucking consume all day. You need to get enough to get into action, which is very little. Like if you watch me and you're a business person, you need to be out there talking to people every day, selling them what you offer, product, service, whatever it is, and excelling at that. That needs to be the main driving primary focus for you in your business. Half of your business day or more needs to be spent on generating business leads, not sitting back, going out there, door to door, calling, networking events, talking to people in the street, going to swap meets, I don't care, the mall, talking to people. That's the ticket, right? Because again, a closed mouth doesn't get fed. You're watching me and maybe you're a young man or a woman and you want to get out there and date, you need to, especially if you're a man, you need to talk to the opposite sex. You want to get girls, you got to talk to them. Go out and talk to them. You see a woman you like, say hi. I'm not even going to sit here and break down how to seduce women, but get out there and develop the skill set. Because that's a desire that you want to talk to a girl or date her or see her or whatever. Go. Learn. You don't just sit back and fantasize about it or talk, oh, I'm just going to go on an app. Drop that shit, man. If you are on dating apps, you're weak. I'll tell you that right now. It's a kind of like a side subject, but if you're on dating apps, you're weak. You want to text and hide behind a fucking phone instead of going out there and doing it in the real world because you're too scared to do it in the real world. That's a convenience thing. You're weak if you do that. Now, I messed around with the dating apps a long time ago and had massive success with them. But I knew this is just a convenience thing. What's the point? What's the point? Oh, just so I can hook up with chicks and that kind of stuff? Fuck that, dude. That's the easy route. I'm not going to do that. I want a woman, I'm going to go talk to her straight up. And I've been doing that ever since. I did it before and I'm going to do it after, right? And that was back in like 2014 or 15 when I was messing around with them. That's 10 years ago, dude. So the whole point here is there needs to be a shift, a fundamental shift in your mindset that you need to go out there and get it and stop fucking sitting back. Like, what are you waiting for, dude? No one's going to come save you. Even Tanner, right? Shout out to him, who's that new student that I had that joined my coaching and moved out to Miami and joined Team BC. He's in the office grinding every day. He got a couple deals. He just got another one where he called somebody and listed the home two days later at 6% full commission. Brand new fucking agent, but he's getting it every single day and he's willing to put in the work. And it's not pretty. Some days he's fired up, other days he feels like shit. I'm training him a lot, I'm helping him, but he stepped up. He's paying his dues and he's following the path that everybody needs to follow if they want to be successful. Are you willing to do it or not? Because we know at the end of the day, the closed mouths don't get fed. And most of you, your mouth is closed or barely open and you need to shout, ah. Otherwise, you're never going to eat. Okay? So appreciate you guys tuning in on this. Any resources or help that you need, I have a bunch of links below. You can schedule a one-on-one Zoom with me if you want. I do offer a lot of coaching and courses. You can get on my email list. All those links will be there. Take the second to hit the thumbs up. Leave me a comment as well. Let's push this thing in the algorithm and get this channel back to 1 million. All right? See ya.